chamber at an increasingly important moment in our nation's history to discuss the national security issues that we are currently facing and the ways in which the United States Senate can address them. On the floor over the past several weeks, I have repeatedly called for American leadership in support of our allies abroad and in support of the many challenges that we face here at home. Again today, I renew that call for American leadership and continue to stress the urgency created by the trials at hand. From the vicious, horrific attacks on our allies in Israel by Hamas to Putin's aggression we see in Europe, from North Korea's brazen nuclear posturing to Iranian militias attacking our men and women overseas in uniform. And of course, the increasing tensions that we see in the Indo-Pacific, where China continues to threaten the stability and pursue the largest military buildup since World War II. We are currently living in times and are tasked in making decisions that will greatly shape the world of which we and the young people here today will be living in. Our nation is being tested, our resolve is being tested, and a country as powerful as ours needs to show strength, clarity, and control that only the United States of America can generate. This is something I have addressed repeatedly with my constituents across West Virginia, and something that I am confident they understand and agree. The Mountain State is incredibly patriotic. We are very proud Americans. Pride in our country and a steadfast belief in the ideals and values that we stand for is invaluable both now and in our future. I agree with my fellow patriotic West Virginians that this is the greatest country on earth, and that the title requires us to make critical investments in both our own national security and in the security of our allies before it is too late. It is imperative that Americans across this country recognize this and that we come together as our adversaries attempt to turn us against one another. I am appreciative of the Biden administration proposing a supplemental appropriations package that addresses key areas of concern that I've talked to, but those key areas of concerns that we see across our country and the world. That being said, the administration's supplemental request needs to be recognized for what it is, a request. The Senate must and will have a say in how this is formulated. The Biden administration has not shown the strength it needs to during these challenging times. We need to unabashedly stand with Israel. We need to responsibly support Ukraine as they further deteriorate Putin's military. They're getting back land that they lost. They're regaining it. We need to strengthen our allies and our own defense capabilities in the Indo-Pacific, and we need to make strong changes to policy that have allowed our southern border to remain in chaos for years now. Any response from the Senate must reflect these four categories because they are directly tied to what is in the best interests of our country and our national security. Yesterday, I participated in a Senate appropriations hearing to examine President Biden's request. This is an important step. It allowed us to grow consensus as we move towards a supplemental that will be crafted by the Senate. I firmly believe that this was one of our most important Appropriations Committee hearings, and I congratulate the chair and the vice chair. This hearing highlighted how investments into the defense of Israel and Ukraine go a long way to strengthening our own defense capabilities, and how the lack of deterrence and enforcement at our southern border is creating elevated threats to our national security. This further underscores the importance of responsible relief efforts that need to be included in a response from the Senate. It is critical that a Senate-crafted supplemental address all four areas that I have mentioned, and that we provide the tools needed for our allies to win and to strengthen our own defense capabilities at the same time in the process. Israel is currently under attack by Hamas and Hezbollah and terrorists that are supported by America's most evil adversaries. American lives have been lost, and far too many innocent families have been left without a home and without their loved ones. Ukraine is facing an unjust and unprovoked ground war, the likes of which we have not seen in generations, nor did we think we would see in this generation. Putin's aggression creates dangers all around the globe. The Ukrainian military is decimating Russia's military strength without putting one American troop in harm's way. Additionally, funding towards Ukraine goes straight into replenishing our own stockpiles with new and more advanced weapons. These are weapons that are made in the USA, for the USA, some of which are made in my home state of West Virginia. Our Indo-Pacific allies remain on heightened alert. I saw this directly when I visited the region last summer. It is irresponsible to neglect the tie between the attacks on Israel, the war in Ukraine, and the security of Taiwan and the increasing aggression from China, and on our southern border, which remains in chaos. President Biden's policies have led to record after record of illegal crossings, with an alarming amount of encounters with individuals on our own country's terror watch list. I saw where Secretary Mayorkas testified yesterday that 600,000 gotaways, we don't even count them in the over 2 million that were apprehended. This is 600,000 people that are believed to have entered our country without any interdiction at all. We don't know who these people are. We do not just need funding for a border wall. We need substantial changes in policy, as I said earlier, that will strengthen our security and protect our homeland that has been left under siege for far too long. It is important that Congress and the American public recognize the importance of support across those four categories. The investments will support our own defense industrial base. It will increase the security of the United States. We will support our allies in the time of need. And most importantly, we will keep U.S. service members from fighting in these battles. Each of these categories is in the direct and best interest of the United States and the security of our homeland and the security of our allies. There is no doubt that now is the time to act. If we fail to meet our obligations in any of the four areas, we weaken the overall impact of all of them. I'm confident in the ability of this chamber to craft a supplemental that meets the growing and urgent national security needs of our country and our world. The time for American leadership is now. Thank you, Madam Chair.